as they say, there's a lot of income of new tourists coming into the country. Once we open the country, there's a lot of people who wants to travel to Sri Lanka, and that market has not died down. What is your take on the tourism industry, and what exactly do you think? What's the path we need to take? Because COVID has given us an opportunity. Last time when you were here, also we spoke about this. To restructure it a little bit, not to do the same old things what we've been doing prior in the tourism industry, and maybe take this opportunity to revive it in a manner that we always wanted to do it. What is your take on that?
Yeah, so obviously tourism industry is a growing industry across the world, and people are very thirsty of travel. 1.4 billion people travel across the world in a good year. 1.4 billion, right? That's a large number, of which we have gotten only 2.3. That's the highest we've achieved, and
2.3 million.
2.3 million tourists, right? And that was achieved in 2018. And in 2019, I was obviously pried in the leadership, and sadly the East attack took place. But even with that, we managed to go up to 4 billion. And when we did 2.3, our revenue was $4.3 billion. With 1.9 million tourists, we did $3.9 billion, right? So that was tremendous recovery. And obviously, in 2020 with COVID, in the world, the numbers went down, to almost zero level. And 2021, especially during the latter part, there has been recovery, which is good. What we have to understand is that every economy in the world is focusing on tourism. It's not, poor countries, it's not just Asian countries, it's not just Sri Lanka. We know US is doing their best to try and increase the numbers. UK, Italy, France, you look at all these big countries, big economies, there is a sizable contribution of economic value being created out of tourism. So they are all focusing on it.
Is it new because of COVID, or they've been doing that for some time?
They've been doing that for quite a long time, but as we spoke of, a while ago during the first segment, every economy is trying to revive. They're looking at, recovering from the shock they have had. I mean, we are, let's say, a poor country, and we have different issues, but they have had their piece of issues as well, and we have seen queues. Of course, here queue would be people standing, but their queue is a line of vehicles, sometimes very luxury vehicles. But how can we explain that? That is also a kind of nature of poverty. So every single country had to go through that. So obviously with the entire world, coming to terms with COVID doesn't mean that, COVID will be over during 2022. Let's hope that it will be over, but it might remain, it's not going to be the reality. So it might remain, right throughout the year. But that's not a barrier to perform, right, as economies and as countries and as individuals and as businesses. So everyone now knows, how to navigate those challenges, and everyone has become more aggressive than ever before, right? And that's what we will see in terms of multiplied challenges from the rest of the world. So each country will focus on tourism, but as I said, 2.3 million is the highest we've had into 2018. All we need is 20% more to be able to try and hit 6 billion to 7 billion during the year 2022, and it is doable.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Like
the fertilizer issue, where you said communication was the biggest issue, right? Intention was very good, but the common man on the street did not understand how is going to elevate their lives. Their lives, right? So that's where the issue was. I mean, if they had a plan to have effective communication, get the people to really understand how it's going to help them, the government, not anyone else. It's for their own good, right? And that communication didn't happen the way that it should have happened. True. So in the absence of that, it's not to talk about politics, but the opposition capitalized,
of course,
right?
Of course,
they capitalized, and then they highlighted all the negatives, attached to it, and it created the kind of environment that we are in today.
Yes.
So tourism also, the same thing happened in 2020 and in 2021 as well, right? Many times, we as a country, together with the tourism stakeholders, wanted to open up the country, with certain controls,
Yes.
measures in place, measures in place. But what did the opposition do? What did some of the people do? They all went against it, right? So obviously, if we had a choice where we could have done without tourism, it would have been all good. But we know, given the numbers, size of the tourism industry, the value of the tourism industry, that we can't be without tourism, right? So it's all about balancing. It's not about taking a safe decision. It's about taking the right decision, a forward-looking decision. So today we have certain good things happening. We see the numbers improving, but we got to be certainly more aggressive.